What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance, and this is part 2 of our dedication to Manscaped.
Yeah. Use the promo code ECTO to get your Manscaped. Richard, we have on 2 of our good friends. They show up every year for Broloween, but we thought once a year is not enough, so let's bring them on again. So we have Josh and Jason from the Ectoplasm show. Want to welcome you guys to the episode. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, when you first messaged me about this, you had a misspelling. You had said, do you want to come on for a word theory episode? And I was like, we could do poetry. We could figure that out.
Yeah. Welcome to first annual LOB Poetry Slam.
All right. Roses are red. Violets are blue. Manscaped worked for me. How about you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Certainly works for me.
All mine are in haiku. I thought that was the rule.
Oh, I love it.
But no, what we're going to do today, I found a theory a long time ago and want to talk about it, but I thought what better 2 guys to get on to help us work through kind of some weird theories than the guys from the Ectoplasm show. So I know we just had a good episode with you guys. This is going to come out a few weeks later, but Koopsik, at the end of that episode, you said you had a theory you were ready to share. So I want to tee you up if you're ready to give us your weird theory.
Sure. And I've mentioned this a few times on Ecto, and I may have mentioned this on your show in the past. I don't really know if I did or not, but it's the theory that not all the advanced alien races out there are actually intelligent. They may be stupid aliens out there, and they could possibly get here. And how is that possible, being a stupid alien?
I love the stupid alien theory. Shawn, you and I talked about this a long time ago. We talked about a bunch of aliens, why do they have to be these super intelligent, transcendental fucking beings? Why can't they just be like a bunch of the Hicks of space, where they just swing in, they're just woo, they're always picking up cattle and people from Alabama. Why not? Why aren't they dumb aliens? They're just and they all talk like fucking
Sling Blade.
Yeah, they all talk like Sling Blade.
Well, we talked.
What if we encountered just the fucking cousin Eddies of
He's just dumping toxin into the ocean. Cheerful.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we mentioned on Ecto that there was a reference to Signs where the alien was trapped in the pantry, but in that movie they come here most likely knowing that our planet's covered in what kills them. But so if they all die and left their technology here, we wouldn't have gained the intelligence to use that technology. We might be able to figure it out and go across the sky, and then across the universe. Then we would be the dumb aliens somewhere else.
Wouldn't that? I don't know if that would be better or worse. You get some alien shows up. So when we were talking about the seed theory, where the idea was that aliens came to Earth and basically seeded the planet. And the way we talked about it was that some dumb alien came down and had sex with the Earth.
Yeah.
And
no, it was 2 aliens. It was 2 aliens that had sex on the Earth. They were trying to have a Woodstock moment. And so they were in the primordial ooze. Well, it wasn't primordial ooze at this point. It was just a mud hole. And so these 2 aliens are just going at it in the mud hole. And there's a little bit of splashback that gets in the mud. And then boom, you got people.
Yeah, it's did you hear he made no in the mud?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
I remember you guys. I don't know if I heard that episode, but I've heard you say that before, Shawn.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a reoccurring thing over the years of your show.
So hot.
But how sad would so I think whenever you think of aliens, you think of this super intelligent human race like V or even the ones from Independence Day, but they show up and they're just hey, it's my cousin Cindy. Oh. Well.
Well, I mean, there's some precedent out there, a little bit anyways, that so we've become so dependent on technology. If we create a technology that we then become super dependent on and we lose our intelligence, we then aren't intelligent and we are using that technology, we could get across the galaxy or whatever, the universe. And like, this is one of my main arguments against that all aliens are benevolent because they're so smart and intelligent.
Okay.
That's, a definite theory out there of why would they ever attack us if they could get here.
Yeah, if they have the technology, if they're smart enough to get here, then prevailing wisdom thinks that they should be benevolent, because if they're smart enough to get here, then they're smart enough to not.
Right.
But basically, like, it's like the Federation, like they don't try to, blow up planets.
Well, it's just like, kind of what we were talking about earlier, or whatever. Like, apparently there's like 3 major things that the world as a populace kind of fucked up on, right? And one of them would have been like the use and employment of like nuclear weapons, right? The other would be the fast tracking of like AI and all the weird shit that AI can do now, and how it is learning and developing and all of this stuff. And yeah, like I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I think we will always be a populace who shoots first and asks questions later. Always.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any way around it.
Like what Kupsik was saying, though, like if they could get here right after they build the technology or master it, then you could think the people that built that technology would still be kind of smart. But what if it takes generations to get here, and the population to start, like it's multiple generations, so you're gonna have to find a mate on your ship, and that population is going to start to dwindle. Where again, you're going to have to marry cousin Cindy because that's all that's left on the ship.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get down here, and just like I said, the dependency on the technology and just the loss of different teachings and stuff like that. You get here and you're like, we don't know how it works. We just got here.
So 2 things. One, we just basically described the entire plot of the movie WALL-E.
Dude, yes. Is WALL-E?
I haven't seen that.
So wait a second. Is WALL-E what I'm thinking of when I think of like the ultra large people that are just in their own little pods and they're all drinking soda?
Yeah, they're all drinking soda and eating cheeseburgers and just basically like they
whatever they want.
They've gotten technology dependent, and so they basically forgot how to pilot a ship.
Exactly.
And so the ship just like, just floats around in space because it left Earth because we polluted Earth. And so Earth was just like this big giant trash bin. I don't feel like I need to say spoilers, like WALL-E's, the movie's like 15 years old.
True.
So the whole point of WALL-E is that he's this robot that was basically got left behind on Earth. And his job was to like basically like collect and stack trash. He would make cubes of trash and then stack them. That was his job. And so after, hundreds of years, that finally there was a plant like came sprout from the ground, which led, which meant that, hey, maybe the Earth could be, rehabilitated. And so you find out that humans had left Earth and had basically become so dependent on, because the ship they were on was like a cruise ship, and they become so dependent on technology that they basically forgot where they came from and what the point was.
Yep.
They just sit in their big chairs and float around and drink big gulps and eat cheeseburgers.
They want whenever they want. Like I mean, it looks fucking delightful if you ask me.
So what you're saying is Disney knows, like they are the overlords. They are the one planning this.
I think that's obvious.
Well, they already have their own world. I mean, have you guys seen the size of Disney World?
Fuck me, man.
It is. A fun fact that I just learned about that. It is bigger than San Francisco,
bro.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I got a gig at fucking Disney World. Okay, like they have a college program, right? And your job is basically just to go there and fucking like work, either as talent or food service or whatever. You get a fucking place there, like it's fully furnished, even down to the silverware.
Oh, damn.
They take your rent and all that shit out of your pay, and then you just get your pay,
Mm-hmm.
with whatever's left over. But yeah, dude, oh my God. Like I went down there for like a visit and all that stuff. They said it would take, I think it was like 7 days. Like if you wanted to see everything, 7 days from like park opening to park closing, 7 days to get through everything.
Yeah, I could see that.
Wow. It's immense. It is absolutely just massive.
It was actually called Buena Vista, Florida, but now nobody knows that. It's Disney World. The only thing that makes you that harkens back to it is the lake that's at Disney World is called Lake Buena Vista, which I don't understand why they haven't changed it to like Lake Disney at this point.
Oh. They probably will. It's just weird, man.
Is it true about the cats? Do they really have cats that they let out at night to eat all the rats?
Supposedly that is true. I have no idea. Like what I was just there for like 3 days or something like that. But yeah, it was weird. I ultimately ended up declining the offer.
They said like after your paycheck you'll actually owe us money and you'll have to stay here even longer.
Really, Jack, because I think it was like every 2 weeks or so. Like I was only going to have like a few $100s, and I'm like, this is not gonna fucking cut it for me.
Yeah,
they're like, no, but you get to be guest on. Yeah, but still, I was hoping for Little Mermaid.
It becomes indentured servitude in its own special way.
It's and like the places are okay, they're nice and all that stuff, but yeah, at the same time, it's like this is like just slave labor.
Yeah. Like, what happens if I can't pay? Right as you're feeding the alligators in Lake Buena Vista. It's like you go for a swim. What does that mean?
Oh my God.
But the other thing I was going to say is if you combine stupid aliens with the seed theory.
Yeah.
So if stupid aliens seeded the earth and created us, what does that say about us? Like if we're like the backwoods offspring of, two morons flying around in space, like they have, like, that like other aliens have to look at us and be like, look at these backward fucking cousins.
Well, Richard, what just shows you is it's just you're not your family. You can make yourself whatever you want. It's like, no, in the mud guy. I'm a podcaster.
Yeah,
that's right.
He's like, what's that? Damn it. Even in space, no one knows what a podcast is.
But it's hard to escape your genetics.
Yeah.
I love it.
And you know that because have you ever met somebody from Alabama? Whether you like them or not, the second they go, yeah, I'm from Alabama, your immediate first thought is like, oh.
Yeah, because then the next line is Roll Tide.
Yeah. And then they just say it. And then you're like, what? I don't get it. Is that a sports ball reference? I don't.
No, it's an oceanography reference.
Oh my God, man.
I feel like people that are from Alabama, it's almost like they have to like not apologize for it, but they go like the people that I've met.
I've never heard anybody be like, I'm sorry, I'm from Alabama.
They say I'm from Alabama and they immediately follow it with the good part.
The good.
And I'm like, the good part. I'm like,
I mean, honestly, you could say the same thing about Missouri.
No, the good part.
Fair point.
And then other people go, what's the good part? And then you go, damn it.
Which one's the good part? Wow. That's crazy, though. I've met a few people from Alabama, I think.
So there you go, Shawn. We're the basically bumfuck cousins of the universe. Are we the Alabama of space?
We are. I think we honest to God are.
There's always something worse, though. I mean, there's always somebody worse. So,
but is there?
I mean,
that's what happens when they come and visit. They're like, yeah, you guys are really the Alabama of space. Like, what does that mean?
And then
we're from the good part.
We're not Florida.
Exactly. Oh, I feel like when aliens are cruising by Earth, it's like, okay, roll them up, kids. You know what I mean? Like, roll them up. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Angry lizards there. Still? Yeah.
It's still weird. Like, I saw some footage today when I was doing my whole like rabbit hole thing, and there was some really, really cool footage of like you see this craft flying, and then you hear like this giant boom, and you see a flash, suggesting something just got fired or whatever. But this craft is able to immediately stop, and then dart the opposite direction as some projectile zips past it, and then it's still cruising as another one zips behind it yet again. So it's like this thing was fired at twice by fuck knows what or who or whatever. Like,
wait, was this a
government
green? Was this like a night vision video? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's night vision video that's very similar to that from the 90s and maybe late 80s. It was super early, but it was high-end night vision at the time as military night vision. It was almost the exact same scenario. There wasn't any sound to it, of course.
This said sound. It was fucked, bro.
Yeah, this was just a dot going across the sky.
But I didn't realize like all that stuff. Like I don't know, man. It's weird.
There was a flash on the ground.
Yeah.
So this was, ground-based night vision, military-grade night vision pointed at the sky. And there was something going across the sky. And it could have been a satellite or whatever, the way it looked. Then there was like a flash coming from the ground. This beam shot up towards the thing coming. It stopped. The beam went past it, and the thing just turned off and went the other direction.
This was
from the 90s.
See, the second something flies by, we shoot at it. We are the Alabama of space.
Honest to God, bro.
Man.
It's coming right for us.
It's so
I mean, it's going to start with the the Amazon drones. They're never going to be able to fly them in the South.
Did you guys see Bezos fucking stepped down?
Yeah,
I did see that.
Yeah.
I saw that today.
I just saw it not too long ago. Yes. I'm like, now what? I mean, the guy has like more fucking money than God. I mean, fuck, he could do whatever he wanted.
187 billion is his worth right now.
He's going to chop off his head and freeze it like Disney.
Yeah.
And he's going to bury himself in Lake Buena Vista and rename it. And
Bezos
rename it
World.
Lake Amazon.
Oh my God, that's funny. Jesus Christ. I mean, at that point, you have that much money. Don't you just fucking give it away? Like, don't you just fucking start giving it away?
I mean, you would hope.
Is he signed on to the whole because that's what Microsoft guy
Bill Gates.
that's what Bill Gates has signed up to do. It's funny because like with their kids, it's like, well, we're not giving all of our money to our kids. We're giving them a lot. I mean, fuck, we're not savages, but we're going to donate the rest of it.
Exactly. I mean, you think about that. You have that kind of money. Christ. You have, let's even call it just $10 million, right?
Yeah.
You put that shit in the bank and you're living very comfortably just off the interest.
Yeah.
I always wonder with like when they do the net worth too, like how much actual cash money does he have in his bank account and how much is like tied up in like stocks and stuff like that. Like when he prints out his bank account, does it say like, $2.6 billion in cash and the rest is in stocks, or is it like
It's all in GameStop stock.
Yeah. He got us.
He got us.
Bezos is deep fucking value.
I'm going to show those sons of bitches. You'll see. Oh my God.
Yeah, because he lost a bunch of money when he got in his divorce, but he's still like still $187 billion net worth. Oof.
Yeah, Musk. I think Musk beat him out.
Yeah, he's at top right now.
Have you guys listened to Musk talk about like AI and all this stuff? Like even when he was on Rogan, I don't know if you guys listen or watch Rogan or any of that. Like the last time, I think maybe, I don't know. It was one of the last times that he was on Rogan. They started talking about AI and all this shit. And like the look on his face is just like almost terror. And I don't know if he was just like zoned out because he was so high.
Or he's like, oh my God, they found me out. They know I'm a robot.
He flat out said, he's like, I kept trying to tell everybody, like, stop, just stop this. And they listened to me is what he said. He's like, they didn't listen to me.
That was the one thing. That was what Hawking said. Like pretty much the last few years of his life. He's like AI. He's like AI is the thing that's going to be the eventual doom of the human race.
Yes. And here's these fucking machines that are learning. They're learning. They're adapting. Now think about how fucking terrifying that is. They had like one form of AI that could not, it was like, oh, here's chess. Here's the game chess, right? And then it was like, it couldn't win a game of chess to save its fucking pathetic life. But then it started winning. And then it started winning with 10 people playing at the same time. And then it started like fucking thousands of people playing at the same time. And it's still kicking everyone's ass. It's like, this is fucked. This is
Does it have a trigger finger though?
What do you mean?
Does it have a trigger finger yet?
I don't.
They can make one.
No, but that's just it. These other things that I've seen now, like they almost look like a very odd looking dog. Right? It has like the hind quarters of a
the Black Mirror things.
Boston Dynamics. They just put out a video like a month ago. They put out a video where they showcased like the new technology, and you see these. They basically it's these two upright bipedal robots.
Yes.
That are dancing to "Do You Love Me?"
What happens if you say no?
It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
There was another bipedal. I mean, it looks just like a person. You would swear to God it was a person. However, it was employed by Disney yet again. But this is something that's doing like very high flying acrobatics off of like a trapeze type of thing. It's doing very impressive things, but you would swear to God it was a person if it wasn't 60 feet in the air fucking landing on its feet. You know what I mean? Like, it's very fucked. And it's like, okay, now what? Like, what's the next step? What's the fucking end game here?
One of those in every home.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like you said, yeah. Like, what's the point? Are we helping make it because we can?
I think because we're so fucking complacent with just life. I want this motherfucker to go get my mail for me. It'll start like that.
Yep. Well, I mean, we've got Roombas in our places, right? Like, now make something else that, like, it can do everything. It can repaint your house.
They've got Roomba lawnmowers that they'll map out your yard and then just mow your grass.
That's just the fucking beginning. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Like, I want this fucking thing to then tuck point my house because I live in a brick house, right? I want it tuck pointed. I want it recited. Here's all the materials that you need, and here's a few fucking YouTube clips. Have at it. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. What is the end game here? And honestly, I think of Wall-E. I think of all of us are going to just become lazy motherfuckers.
When you think about, too, like, somebody's like, well, I'd never have a robot, but a lot of the people are saying, like, I would never have a Siri, or I wouldn't have a phone that can spy on me.
Right, exactly. Oh, yeah, fuck me.
No, but I turned the microphone off on my Google Home. It's like, oh, yeah, sure, that works.
Yeah. I told it to turn the microphone off, so that should be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's totally cool.
It's fine. NSA's like, no, it's fine. That's exactly what you should do. Yeah. It's totally fine.
But that's the last thing is I need another thing in this house judging me.
But you think about that. Like, I could see some really weird things happening with AI, right? Up to and including like just every little task that you have to do. It just does for you. Cooking your meals, for an example, right? Things of that nature. I don't know.
It's what computers are about. It's automation, right? Yeah. Automate the repetitive things. What's repetitive? Cooking, cleaning, laundry. It's stuff that people don't like to do.
But guys, it's fine. All we have to do is just pick out the pictures that have a crosswalk, and then we've beat them. That's how we win. We win by picking out all the pictures that have a stop sign in it, and then.
But I wasn't a robot.
That's the safe room. You have to hit the buttons to get in. And it shows up. It goes, "Damn it, you have defeated me." And it just waits out there for you to starve.
Yeah, and then it's talking in the War Games voice.
You pretend to be dead, and it just tries to cremate you.
But then I look at movies like iRobot, right? And things of that nature. And it's like the Amazon or FedEx, I believe, the delivery person was a robot. Like, everybody's got a personal robot in their home. And it makes me wonder, are we being conditioned in some way to think, oh, fuck, how cool would that be? Like, oh, if they had robots like that.
Oh, is it the frog in the water?
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. When Richard said Roomba lawnmower, like that kind of got my attention. Like, fuck.
These things are legit too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a thing. I think they're priced high. I think they're like $2,000 or something. But it'll map out your yard, and then then you just turn it on, and then it just mows your grass for you.
Yeah, and then if the neighborhood kid comes running through to pick up his ball, it runs over him, and
Probably.
2 birds,
Yep.
1 lawnmower.
you didn't say to stop here.
2 birds, 1 robot.
Yep.
Let's continue. Yeah. Jeez, man.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
Must not deviate.
Don't let the dog out to piss or anything like that. It'll be fine. Kids, you can't go outside and play today. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, man. It's
All right.
I have a list. Okay. I'll give everybody the option. Would you like to hear about weird metaphysical experiments that you can participate in? Or would you like to hear about theories about the Ark of the Covenant?
Oh, fuck.
Both are good.
That's hard. I know, right?
Well, it's your show.
Yeah. You pick.
Okay, I think I can blow through some of these experiments pretty quick. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a scientific institute called the Institute of Noetic Sciences.
I am all about this. Yes.
So
IONS.
IONS.
Yes.
So the Institute of Noetic Sciences is basically science that
kind of harkens back to old metaphysical theories that were held by pagans most of the time, 5,000-10,000 years ago. And basically saying that they kind of function on the belief that that ancient societies and the religions they followed, and things like meditation, channeling, collective consciousness, that those things you can actually scientifically measure and you can experiment with it.
It's impressive as hell.
So they actually have a list of studies and experiments that anybody can actually apply for. So one here is exploring scientific questions with group channeling. And this is basically through the use of things like remote viewing, where people sit and use their collective consciousness to try to using the energy of collective consciousness. Basically, everybody thinking the same thing or asking the same question, that it will help draw an answer from the ether.
Yeah, they that's just it, man. They're measuring like thoughts, basically.
Yeah.
They say like thoughts have weight to them.
I wonder if
it's amazing.
like that. I don't think I talked about it on the show, but I know that I talked about it with you, Josh. I had something happen a couple weeks ago in a dream that
How was I?
another friend had been talking.
Josh came in wearing a hula outfit.
I had this dream where I'm going to try and find it. I was at this convention, and I don't know what kind of convention it was. I don't remember any of that.
Sex convention.
But at the end of the convention, I was going back inside to clean some stuff up, or here I have the text. This is what I texted Josh.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Biden was in my dream last night. I was at it.
So did you have to clean up when you woke up? Because you're like, oh, Biden.
Wipe off rag.
No. It says I was at an event, and it was at the end of the day. He was at a booth where you could get a signature card, and I was walking by, so I asked for he gave me one of the signature cards, and on it had his signature. It had his name written out, and it also had a line that said "goes by," and written next to it was the word powder.
Right.
I thought that was really weird, and I was just telling people about it. And then my friend Justin said it was really weird because he, the day or so before, was joking with a friend about how Biden's name should be Powder. and that Kamala's name should be Talcum. But it was weird because this guy also has some psychic ability about him. It was just weird that he had a thought about Biden lining up. I don't know what the essence of the joke was, but about powder. And then I dream, and he did. He was a couple hundred miles away from me, talking to a friend in person. So I had it's just kind of weird that it lined up that way.
That is crazy.
Was this the same friend? Like, I remember when Brolowini came on, you talked about a experience you had with some kind of entity or spirit. And because basically he said that he sensed that there was something wrong with you or something going on, that he felt like a really strong presence. He's like, usually when Kupsik, when he's finishing, I have this feeling, but today it's a completely different feeling. Talk about a psychic vampire.
Hit the pillow. I'm coming in dry. I don't get it.
So I mean, it's like Josh said, thoughts have weight. Thoughts, like the best example I can think of is one thing that a lot of people can't explain is when you die, a lot of that you're instantly lighter. I think it's like 9.7 ounces or something like that.
It was like 21 grams was the thing at first, and then someone debunked it in some way, and I'm not sure how or what the specifics are behind that. But yes, like a lot of people do seem to think that you do lose some form of weight.
That your soul has weight.
Oh, I thought that was just you emptying your bowels when you die.
No. Because if you're on the table, like the bowels are still there.
And that's what,
I don't care how much spray back there is.
If I am lucky enough to know like when I'm going to expire, basically, I would love to be running a series of experiments as I'm expiring.
Now, that's exactly what I have planned for you, Josh.
Ultimately, I'm fine with this if it somehow benefits something else. You know what I mean?
Why did you say to eat this muffin on the toilet? Oh, God. Just like Elvis Presley.
This experiment says we are exploring the potential of this powerful and often sacred process. What if channelers can help us find useful scientific or medical information? What other fields of knowledge could channeling transform? So to be eligible for this study, you need to be 18 years or older, have extensive channeling experience, ideally with channeling technical and or scientific information, have the ability to initiate channeling at will, and have the ability to video chat and correspond by email.
You think that they just fake it till they make it? There's people out there that have experience, but how are you going to prove that? Just because it's on your resume?
Yeah, I don't know. Participants in this study will be compensated $100.
It's not a bad deal. I was going to say, I didn't have much channeling experience until college, so.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
No.
No?
Yeah.
You sure? Aw.
Do you think so? Like with this too, like one weird thing, like there was a movie about this which kind of sparked my fancy. Is basically like the universe or the world discovered that there was an afterlife, like legit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that there was an afterlife, so that this like the living world became this whole like almost sad, depressing thing because it's like, well, there's this other thing that I want to go to.
People are just like offing themselves, right?
Yeah. And it's like you think about like this world, like with this, what if they discover like, an alternate dimension, or they discover like the afterlife? Like I always want, like, I think you've talked, Josh, but like, if aliens show up, that destroys religion altogether. Possibly. But what happens if you discover like, oh my God, there is an afterlife? Like we have proof of this thing.
Right. And that's a good point. That's a good point.
There's part of me, the good part of me in rational thinking, that if that's the case, we aren't meant to know. And I don't know if we could know. Because if there's an afterlife, most likely there's a reason we're here experiencing this life. And we may even have put ourselves in that position to experience this life. We are going to lose all of what may be gaining by this life if we just know that there's going to be an afterlife.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't think we're supposed to know. And if we do find out, maybe the whole system collapses because then there's going to be some reset or something.
Yeah, it just edits it out like WandaVision.
Oh, yeah.
You just bloop, bloop, and then everything's fine.
You're like, Nana. Nope.
So this other one is the Global Consciousness Project. It's an international, multidisciplinary collection of scientists, engineers, artists, and others. Data has been collected from a global network of physical random number generators located in 65 host sites around the world. The archive contains more than 10 years of random data and parallel sequences of synchronized 200-bit trials every second.
Basically it's taking like a coin flip, like heads or tails, and turning it into binary code, just ones and zeros.
Right. And
I did an entire documentary on this. It's fucking phenomenal stuff, like what they can do with that. Like, guys, if you haven't checked it out, like the Global Consciousness Project, fucking trippy. Like they're taking basically like the fucking temperature of the planet. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's really weird because they have what they call like the drunkard's walk, right? Just the ones and zeros, the randomness that's just that, you know, it's just ones and zeros, blah, blah, blah. But then they were noticing like really large spikes. Like when the Pope would visit a certain city, they would notice a massive spike in all of this. And then eventually it would subside or whatever after the Pope left. Now, like when Princess Diana passed away, specifically surrounding her funeral, which was fucking televised, it's a massive spike. And then when 9/11 happened, the spike actually begins 3 hours before the first plane even hit the building and didn't subside for another 3 fucking days afterwards. Like, it is amazingly mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So what are they? So they're just legitimately flipping a coin and logging it as heads as 1, tails as 0.
Basically what it's saying is that if enough people start thinking about the same thing, then it actually can create a almost tangible form of energy.
But how's that measured across like Princess Diana or like 9/11 kind of thing?
So, and that's what's weird, right? So basically, instead of like a coin flip, like where you get with heads or tails, like I said before, it's just turning it into like ones and zeros. These machines are doing the equivalent of 200 coin flips every second. So now your pattern of randomness has expanded vastly. Yeah. And what they're doing is they placed it. How many different places around the world? You said like 65 or 66?
Yeah. After testing 500 formally defined events over the nearly 20-year history of project, the odds against chance for the outcome was above 1 trillion to 1.
Just crazy. And then to see the pattern of randomness break in such a spike like that, it's like you just suggested, it is mathematically fucking impossible. Like there is something legitimately happening here with us. And that's what Interconnected, like that film that I did, was all about, is how we as a human populace are more tuned into one another than we would probably give ourselves credit for, because most of the time we're all fucking playing Clash of Clans on our phone or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I mean, so basically, Shawn, like think of, thousands of years ago, people talked about ley lines and forms of energy and, essentially, you had old wise women that would, cast spells and do magic and stuff like that. And what they were saying is they were tapping into the energy of the universe. Like that's essentially what ancient, pagan magic is they're, trying to work the energy of the universe to help produce a certain outcome. And what the IONS is saying is that actually there might be something to that if you get enough of a collective together to channel their thought energy into a specific outcome, that you might actually be able to produce said outcome.
Well, I know Kupsik's talked about that before, where he says, like, if we all start thinking about like an alien invasion or aliens coming here, we'll kind of will that into existence.
Yeah, we definitely can. There's definitely many different theories and names for things like that, from actual creatures that our thoughts create, like a tulpa, or for an individual, or for mass amount of people, they call it an egregore, where that influence that thing is created by everybody thinking about this thing, but then it turns into its own thing and it starts feeding down to the people that were thinking about it to think about it more, to make itself bigger.
All right. I need everybody, including us right now, to start thinking Ectoplasm, Language of Bromance, the next Joe Rogan podcast, money-wise. Thinking about it.
Yeah. Everybody's there.
That's like my dream, guys, is just getting stoned with Rogan. Sorry, like I really do that. Like really, really bad.
He's got a kick-ass studio now.
Dude.
Yeah.
He moved to like Texas or something.
Yeah, he's in Austin now.
He's got like
right?
a bunker kind of thing going on. Well, I think he's getting a bunker made. I think his studio right now is like a temporary one.
Everything's moving to Texas right now.
Yep. Musk is moving there. Elon's heading that way.
Yeah, everything. Even there's talks. Kupsik, you brought this up a couple times.
There's talks of the stock exchange moving there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is, oh my God. You think about that.
That's huge.
Fucking moving from Wall Street to fucking Main Street, basically. Like,
Yeah.
fuck? It's crazy.
New York Stock Exchange is South by Southwest.
I love it.
So I guess, do you want to do your other one, or?
It's just basically all these experiments are kind of leaning towards the same thing. Like, you know, it's trying to use thoughts as energy.
Dude, that's exactly like the next documentary film that I'm going to be doing is very, very similar in nature to that. So it's like taking like the bullshit that we just talked about and then putting it and me physically like applying all of this stuff and seeing if it fucking works.
Yeah.
Over the course of like a year, you know, it's going to be trippy.
Where can I don't think you've mentioned on our show before. Where can you find your documentaries at?
Like Amazon.
They're available there.
Or whatever, yeah, or VidiSpace or whatever, yeah.
So I guess for the next theory, Josh, do you have one you want to share?
No.
Well, I guess I can finish us up on this one then, as we're kind of coming to the end of the show and talking about getting stoned with Rogan. This theory is kind of hypothesizing how we came to be, and it is titled the Stoned Ape Theory.
Okay.
So the guy who came up with this was Terence McKenna. And essentially, like, the question that they're trying to answer is, like, how did the human brain triple in size in just 2 million years, right?
Ironically, that's how they describe Joe Rogan, as the stoned ape.
Yeah. I think looking this up, that's what came up for it. This specific article comes from, like, Fantastic Fungi. So
yeah, you search stoned ape, and then Google goes, did you mean Joe Rogan?
Yeah. So, according to the Stoned Ape Theory, developed by Terence McKenna and his brother Dennis McKenna, a community of proto-humans might have consumed the magic mushrooms they found in the wild. The act could have profoundly changed their mind. So, in a clip from Fantastic Fungi, it was like a software to program this neurological modern hardware. It's not so simple to say that they ate, I can't even pronounce this word, psilocybin. Psil? Psilocybin?
Yeah, psilocybin.
Psilocybin mushrooms.
Magic mushrooms.
And suddenly the brain mutated. I think it's more complex than that, but I think it was a factor. It was like a software to program this neurologically modern hardware to think, to have cognitive, to have language, because language is essentially synthesis. Language is the association with apparently meaningless sound, except that is associated with complex meaning. So the question that's being asked here is that did some prehistoric humans, apes in the sense, eat mushrooms to become what we are today?
I 100% buy into this, and I'll tell you why. Have you, Shawn? I've described ayahuasca to you, right?
I think so. That you know somebody that's
it's basically tree bark and a bunch of other stuff because it gets cooked down into like a tea, and then you drink the tea. And it's, you know, has psychotropic properties.
Is that like peyote, or is it peyote, or is it?
I think it's similar. It's more.
I think it's similar. Yeah.
I think
similar,
it's more,
if not stronger.
Right. So I think the ayahuasca stuff is very similar in nature to what we would consider just DMT, mental tryptamine or whatever. But yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. So apparently, yeah, they drink it and then they throw up, they vomit.
Yeah,
and then,
usually.
And then they're just tripping balls for I don't know how long, but yeah.
But it's supposed to be such an intense trip that that you can experience. I mean, people describe that they tap in again, that they tap in almost into like a universal consciousness, and that, you know, they're able to see, you know, not only themselves, but maybe, you know, past regressions of themselves, see themselves through time, see other people through time and space.
So is it looking like back at the past? Because I mean, to me, it kind of seems like it would be like your brain's like connections to different, like basically like files in your brain being reopened to look at. Be like, oh my god, I forgot I had that dick pic on there.
No, it's more than that. It's think of the universe as wires. Okay, like think of the universe as being in, you know, completely connected with wires.
So you're not taking it from a individual. Like if you look at a person as a computer, you're not looking as the individual doing this reboot with this mushroom or this ayahuasca, like being that you're thinking more like a connected internet type thing.
Yes, this is basically you plugging into, like basically taking a wire off of the ground and plugging it directly into your head. It's you jacking in to the entire cosmos. And so you become, and so with that, it's an experience where you're able to, it's almost like you're able to get a perspective on everything because you are beyond everything.
Yeah, it's weird too. Like the people that are doing this, like specifically DMT, right? But they're doing it, I wouldn't necessarily say like recreationally, but these aren't like your average everyday stoners either.
Has anybody ever done DMT?
No, I really want to.
I have once.
Have you?
I have.
So you have a hookup?
I do not.
Oh fuck!
It was a friend of a friend who managed to get had some mailed to him, and so we did it that way. And to describe it, it's basically a very, very intense high, but it's very, very short.
Yeah, that's what they say. 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And
that's what I was going to say. For me, it was about 20 minutes.
Okay.
But
so interesting. Like
to describe the experience, it was like I said, it's, you know, it honestly felt like you could see, like I personally could see lines of energy in everything, in trees, in the ground, in artificial structures like buildings, cars.
It's like drinking the blood in True Blood.
It's exactly what it's like. Like imagine that all of a sudden it's basically like an overlay is put on everything where you see churning veins of energy, and by touching something it connects you to it, and so it's like you're everything at the same time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was awkward when I went to talk to Richard right after he took it. Like he just kept hugging me. It was weird. No, I wasn't there.
I bet I would. You know what? If you were there, I guarantee you I would have.
He hugged me, says, "Shawn, I'm in you right now." I'm like, "No, you're not. Get off me."
I guarantee I would have, because you are 100% connected to the universe.
20 minutes feel like 20 minutes, or did it feel like longer? Did it feel like shorter amount of time, or did it actually?
It did feel like it wasn't enough time, because so once, like I think I was near a tree and I touched the tree, and then I felt myself above I wouldn't say I was in space, but it felt like almost like an astral projection where you were there, but like I was there, but not there. And there was, this gigantic, almost like a fiery light that I was heading towards, but I didn't get there in time because I could. And as I was approaching it, I could feel myself pulling back from it. And that was me coming down off of it.
See that right there, though. This is like the people that I'm talking about that have done this like recreationally and do it normally. They are going towards that light, right? So everybody is having a very similar type of experience with this. Yeah. But once they get there, they're experiencing these beings. Call them whatever you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these beings are asking them, what do you want to achieve in your life? And they say, I want this. And
yeah.
Like, okay, then you need to focus on X, Y, and Z and fuck everything else.
Yeah.
But focus on this. It's working, though. It's working. Like, these are not stoners. These are professionals. These are doctors, lawyers, people with something to lose. And they're doing this recreationally to further their careers, to further their professions. And it's fucking working.
Yeah, or trying to overcome traumas that they've had, or overcoming, deficiencies that they feel in their own character, things that they feel are holding them back from, success or greatness or stuff like that.
So, Richard, was this where you talked to a being? You said, I want to be a successful podcast. And the being said, well, you need to get rid of Shawn.
No, well, I mean, I don't want to say what they said. 'Cause I don't want to speak for other extra dimensional beings.
Well, I want to stop real quick because we got to talk about our sponsor for this episode. Our sponsor for this week's episode is Dare. Just say no.
Never worked.
Worked on one person.
I want to talk quickly on this theory. I definitely think that it could be a real thing, and I do think that now, like today, the powers that be that Josh was diving into earlier today want us to go towards materialism, want us to get away from this because it's a tapping into of something bigger that they don't want us to have access to. And the quote unquote aliens or whatever it is want us to get away from this. And it has happened. Like when people talk about ancient people or ancient tribes or even tribes that are on the planet now that don't have contact, they do these rituals and stuff, and the overarching the overarching thought of them is they're primitive. They don't know what they're doing. They're not smart. They're not whatever. When really, we're the ones being boxed into a prison where we couldn't access this stuff. And it may be what we're actually meant to access. And I don't know why they would want to keep everybody from it other than if they gain something more from it themselves.
Or they feel that what there is to gain is a finite resource.
Yes, or it makes them have better access to what is available to us on outside of that part of reality. Yeah. So it makes them a better meat sack on this planet than us.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Bezos has probably been all over this stuff, and that's why he is worth $187 billion.
I bet he has.
I think he lost all his hair.
He's like, oh my God.
I'm beyond hair.
We were going to ask how he lost his wife. I was like, I think that was the neighbor.
The pool.
It's always the pool boy.
Oh my God. Boys, it's great. That's great.
But I guess, go ahead.
Oh, I was just like, what did you think? I didn't ask what you thought. What's your opinion on? Do you think that apes took mushrooms and now we have people?
I think it's as good of a theory as there is out there. I mean, I always kind of try to figure out, like, of all the species that we have on Earth, why are humans the only ones that are building these huge buildings or kind of considered these intelligent super intelligent creatures on Earth? Like, why don't we have like dolphins that are, you know, have board meetings and things like that? You know, there has to be something that we did as humans way back in the past that changed that. You know, is it because we're here for a special reason, a la religion, or you know, some kind of alien life form type thing? So we're not even from this planet, or is it we're just a happy, lucky coincidence, and that's why we're able to talk on microphones and do all these things? So it's as good of a theory as any out there.
We could go to Oregon and find out. It's legal in Oregon now.
I take it, and then I become super smart.
In dispensaries, or it's just legal to have?
I think it's legal to have. It's decriminalized, which means you can possess it. I don't know. I don't think you can go to a store and buy it.
Probably not. Probably not. Because at the end of the day, it's still like a very, very strong hallucinogenic.
Yes.
You know, and I think,
I always worry I just have a bad trip. Like, I've never even smoked weed in my life.
I know. I need to fix that.
Yeah, you really need to.
Yeah, right? Thank you.
We need to go to Oregon, get some, bring it back to Shawn's town, put it in the water supplies.
That's
and
good.
They won't know it hits them.
Yeah.
And he won't have a choice.
Be like, Richard, I saw a being.
MK Ultra Shawn. That's the plan.
Richard, I saw a being. I said, I want to be super powerful and famous. And they said I had to leave you.
If it's what the universe wants, Shawn. If it's what the universe wants.
What are you doing with that knife, Shawn? I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I love you.
But yeah, that's all I really had for. So, did you guys, any of you other guys, have any other theories or anything we want to chit chat before we kind of bring this episode to an
wind
end?
it down?
I had one that isn't like a. I had looked up another one that was. It's not like a. I didn't know all of what the show was going to be, so I brought in a pop culture theory about what the Matrix 4 might be about. Are they on another level of the Matrix, and the Matrix 4 plot will be getting out of that?
Oh,
so I've only seen the first Matrix, but the long version of the second two, they end up defeating the machines, right?
No.
Oh, sons of bitches!
Yeah,
it's so good. You gotta watch it all. You gotta watch it all.
I was gonna say, at least watch them before you watch the fourth one.
Yeah, when's the fourth one come out?
Least.
Is it this summer or is it this fall?
I believe it's in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have heard talks about like the next Matrix will be essentially like they're stuck in the Matrix in like whatever they consider their real world.
So it's Matrix Inception?
Kind of, yeah. Like the machines have you in levels. So when you get past one, you're like, oh my God, fuck the machines, we won. It's like, no, you didn't.
I could see that. That makes sense.
I guess on
sad.
that like simulation theory, to tie into that with this, what we're going with. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think the simulation theory has any weight?
Oh, that's a whole episode.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's really weird. Have you seen like some of the weird videos that are out there of like the glitch in the Matrix where there was like a bird that appeared to just be perched in midair. Like it looked like it was standing on like maybe like a wire.
Yeah.
It was a wire.
So CD Projekt Red is programming our simulation.
It was insane. And so there's like just thousands of videos out there, like these glitches in the Matrix, you know, and it's like, fuck, this is really trippy.
The one that's really gotten me so far is that, so the coup that just happened. Yeah, the woman who's doing the dancing thing in front of the military pulling into Parliament. Like, to me, if anything speaks simulation, it's like that. Like her just sitting here dancing, not realizing all this stuff is going on behind her. You have to look up the video. She's doing this like TikTok-esque like dance, and you just see military vehicles pulling in behind her, pulling into Parliament. It's like this coup is happening right behind you, and you're too busy dancing to Baby Got Back or whatever it was.
It reminds me of like the loading area in Fortnite, you know?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Some lady's doing the Carlton dance while society is crumbling around.
Exactly.
It's not Nero with the fiddle. It's this lady doing the Carlton jig.
as far as end of the world scenarios go, getting switched off is probably one of the best, or at least one of the least painful ways to go.
Yeah,
probably.
That's true.
Well, I know I'm super excited for that movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, where he plays a NPC from a video game.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, that kind of becomes self-aware.
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out like last summer, but with everything they decided to wait. But yeah, he basically becomes self-aware that he's in a video game. And that's one of the things that's like, what would happen if that's what we are? We're in a simulation. We're NPCs in a video game, and like, you know, somebody's watching over us and like, look at these 4 assholes thinking they're doing a podcast.
I could control alt delete and end their world.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Give them 500 listens and it'll keep them smiling. You know?
I'll look at them.
Look at how happy we made them, guys.
Now we're going to trap them in a bathroom and watch them starve.
Like the fuckwads that are controlling the Ecto guys and the fuck stains that are controlling the language of Bromance boys, like they got together and they're having like a fucking geek out right now.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, look at what our avatars can do. Yeah, it's great.
What if it was random and they got us, the language of Bromance guys, like, oh, fuck, well, I guess I got to play through this. Surely they won't keep at it for too long. 7 years later, god damn it.
Is this a crossover? Is this Civil War? Is this what?
Dude, yeah.
But as we're closing up this amazing episode, I want to thank you guys again for jumping on and give you guys the floor to let us know where we can find your documentaries, your podcast episodes, and just kind of
your shit.
Yeah, like Koopsic, where can people go? It's the ectoplasmshow.com.
Ectoplasmshow.com.
And then you've got, Jesus Christ.
Do you guys have a phone number? Do you have an LOB phone number?
We don't.
I can give out Sean's if you want.
Give out his personal number.
If you guys want to leave a voicemail for LOB or a text for LOB, you can text us or call us and we'll pass it along. The phone number is 913-730-7255. We do accept photos.
Yes, we
and
do.
I may even text you back.
Did you get my post Manscaped photo I sent?
I think the automatic filtered that one.
No, that went directly to me, pal.
Yeah, sweet.
I kept that for myself.
It's like, is that a wounded animal? There's so much blood.
Not with Manscaped.
Manscaped.
And Koopsic, you had a news site you were starting up when we talked on Halloween. How's that going? Is that still?
Sorry, what?
You had a new website that you were pushing. You were doing
Strange Paranormal. Yes, yeah. I have started adding to it. I'm having problems with it though. I upload a video. If it's over a certain amount of time, the processing takes forever, and then it just stops.
Yeah.
It's pissing me off. But
YouTube is not very nice when it comes to big chonky videos.
Well, so I do have stuff going up on there, not as fast as I'd liked, but I have all my past stuff starting to go on there. So.
Well, Richards, we're kind of lining this up and closing out. Do you have some Richards closing thoughts?
I feel like this one was kind of all over the place, but in a good way. So I don't know how to wrap this all up with a nice tidy bow. We are one, and one is us, and one is all. We are one, and one is all. That's because I feel like that was kind of the general theme. We're all in this together.
Love it. All right, well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping before we call it. Visit our website, we're languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. You can also join our Patreon account, and we always want to thank our patrons, Wendy and Aaron.
You guys rock.
All right, well, is there anything else before I close her out, guys?
I'm good.
Thank you, though, for having us.
All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard.
I'm Jason.
I'm Josh.
And remember, don't be a why.
Be a
why
why
not?
Was I supposed to say that?
Oh, yeah, you totally can.
Sean, do that peyote. Why not?
No, in the mud.
Oh, it's great.